Okay, good afternoon. Welcome to the Tulane preview versus the Houston Cougars. They will take on Houston this coming Thursday night, 6:30. The game will be on ESPN. We will also have the game on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. So that will be audio only. So we're gonna today we will preview Tulane and Houston. So we're gonna go ahead and do that now. If you want, like I said, let's go ahead and do that now. So set that up. All right, we're going to go ahead and give you a scouting report on the Tulane Green Waves and the Houston Cougars. So I'm going to get this put up on the screen. Okay, let's give you a scouting report. Okay. Okay, we'll break down Houston first. Okay, Houston, last couple of games, let's see, they did play against, let's see, they played against Navy and they won 28-20. They also played against Grambling. They won 45-0. Then they played against Rice. They won 44-7. And they also played against Texas Tech on start of the season and lost 38-21. So the last couple of games for the Green Wave, let's give you those. They lost to Ole Miss, UAB, and also lost to East Carolina. So that's your breakdown. So let's give you a complete breakdown on them. Let's go up here. Okay, let's give you points per game. Houston's averaging 36 points. They're ranked 24th in the country. Tulane's offense averages up 35 points. They're ranked 32nd in the country. So they're ranked 32nd. And Houston's ranked 24th. Now, total yards. Tulane's ranked 55th with 416 yards a game. Houston is ranked 87th with 371 yards a game. That's in their total yards a game. Now, the passing game, Tulane's averaging 267 yards. They're ranked 39th. Houston is also ranked, let's go to those numbers. Houston's ranked 57th with 239 yards a game. So they put up 239 versus 267. Now, the running games. Houston's ranked 95th with 131 yards a game. Tulane 80th with 149 yards a game. So it's a complete difference when it comes down to it. Now the takeaways and giveaway ratio. Tulane is ranked 7th with 120. They're ranked 129 with 7 takeaways in the game, and also so that's in the sides right there. So let's go ahead and go down, and we'll give you more their breakdown. So we'll go ahead and give you more. Okay, I'm going to go through the breakdowns of the games. Okay, let's give you their completion percentage. Their completion percentage, Houston's at 68%. Tulane is at 58% when it comes down to completion percentages. So both teams are completing the ball. So they're Tulane, Houston's completing the ball 21 of 32. Tulane 21 of 37 in their games. So that's the completion rates right there for Tulane and Houston on both sides of the football. Now, their quarterback ratings. Quarterback rating 142.0 for Houston and 135 for the Tulane Green Wave. So that is in completions and stuff like that. Now we're going to go defensive side of the football. We'll go ahead and break these down. Okay, scoring defenses. I'm going to go through the scoring defense. Okay, in scoring defenses, Houston gives up 15 points a game. Tulane defense gives up only, let's see, 40 points a game. So they give up only 40 points a game in defensive numbers. Now, in the first quarter on defensive side of the football, Tulane gives up only 11 points a game. Houston gives up only 1.4 points a game. Now, in the second quarter, I'm going to go ahead and go over to the second quarter numbers. Okay, Tulane gives up 15 points a game in the second quarter. Houston gives up only 5.4. Now, in the third quarter, let's go over to the third quarter numbers. Tulane gives up 7.6 points a game. Houston gives up 3.4 points a game on defense. Now, in the fourth quarters, Tulane gives up 5.4. Houston gives up 4.8. So that's a complete difference when it comes down to both scoring defenses in games. Now we'll go over to the total yards per game on the defensive side of the football. So let's go over to the total defense. Tulane gives up 483 yards on defense. Houston gives up 255 on defense. Now that's on total yards. Yards for a play. Tulane gets up 6.4. Houston gets up 4.5. Now the running games on defense. Tulane gets up 208.2. Houston gives up 111.4. That's on 43 carries and Houston 36. Now on the passing side of the football, Tulane gives up 275 yards passing. Houston gives up 144 yards passing in games. So the completion percentages against the defense, 68% on Tulane's defense, and Houston, 53.9% on the defensive side of the football. So that is that's how we break them down. Now, sacks a game. Tulane puts up 2.6 sacks a game. Houston puts up 3.2 sacks a game. That's in games. Now, the fumbles, let's see how the fumbles look. Tulane averages 0.6 fumbles, and Houston on defense averages 0.6. That's an even number. Now, on third down conversions, Tulane only gives up 38%. Houston gives up 25%. So they're pretty good not giving up third down conversions. Now, on fourth down conversions, Tulane gives up 85%. On defense, Houston gives up only 57%. Now, in the red zone efficiencies, Tulane gives up 88%. On defense, Houston gives up 72.7%. That's in the red zones. That's on the red zone defensive side of the football. So that is your breakdowns right there. Let's give you your last three. I'll give you your last three games for both teams. Okay, last three games. Just starting with offense, Tulane has 368 yards. Houston 403 yards a game. That's in the last three football games that they played. Now, rushing yards. Houston puts up 145 yards in the last three games. Tulane puts up 117 yards on the running back, on the offensive side of the football, running the ball. Now, passing yards. Houston puts up 258. Tulane puts up 250. That's in passing yards. Now, the quarterback ratings in the last 3 games, Houston at 153. Tulane is at 126.3 in games. Now, let's go over to the scoring. Okay, the last 3 games, Houston puts up 39 points. Tulane puts up 23 points in the last 3 games. Now, in the first quarter, Houston puts up 9.3 points a game on offense. Tulane puts up only 2.3 points on offense. Now, in the second quarter, same number, 9.3 in the second quarter and 11.7 in the second quarter for Tulane. Now, in the fourth quarter, this is in the last 3 games, Houston puts up 9.0. Tulane puts up 4.3 in those games. Now, defensively, we'll go ahead and we'll go over the defensive side of football. Tulane gives up 14.3 points in the first quarter. Houston gives up 2.3 in the first quarter. Now, in the second quarter, Tulane gives up 16.3 points in the second quarter. Houston gives up 4.3 points a game in the second quarter. So that's the difference right there when you look at defense and offense for Tulane and Houston. So let's go ahead and give you a trend breakdown. We're going to give you a trend breakdown on teams by the point spread. So we're going to begin our trend breakdown. So we're going to go ahead and give you an in-depth trends. I'm going to go ahead and start with the Houston Cougars. Okay, ATS trend. Houston's 4-1 in the ATS with a losing record. Houston's also 11-3 in their last 14 road games as a team with a home losing record. Now, Houston's 5-2 in their last 7 games. Houston's also 7-15 in their last 23 games on field turf. Now, also, they're 5-11 in the last 16 games as a road favorite. Also, Houston's 2-5 in their last 7, scoring more than 40 points a game in previous games. Now, Houston is 7-19 in their last 26 games following a straight-up win, and also 2-11 in their last 13 following a straight-up win with more than 20 points a game. And then Houston's also 1-6 when it comes down to the ATS in the last 7 games, allowing less than 100 yards on previous games. Now, in their over and under trends, Houston's 4-0 in their last 4 games, a team with a losing record. Also, Houston is also 6-1 in their last 7 games after allowing 100 points in previous games. Also, Houston is 4-1 in their last 5 games in the month of October. Also, 12-4 in their last 16 games after a straight-up win. Also, 8-3 in their last 11 games after scoring more than 40 points. That's on the over and unders. Let's see. Also, they're 5-2 in their last 7 after a straight-up win, scoring more than 20 points. And Houston's 10-4 in their last 15 road games. Houston's also 5-2 in their last 7 games that with a team with winning record, and also records 11-5 in their last 16 on field turf, and then 15-7 in their last 22 conference games. So that's the breakdowns where we look at right there for Houston Cougars. That's it. We got it's their scouting report. So we'll give you the Tulane Green Wave. So we'll go ahead and give you the Tulane Green Wave. Switch it over. Okay. Okay, and the ATS trends, we'll break those down for you. Tulane is 6-0 in their last 6 games as a home underdog. Also, they're 6-1 in their last 7 games after allowing 280 points a game. 280 passing yards, excuse me. They're also 4-1 in their last 5 games after allowing more than 40 points. Also, Tulane is 4-1 in their last home game versus a team with a winning record. So that's what you consider right there when you do those break down these games. Okay, Tulane's 11-3 in their last 14 games after a straight up loss. Also 8-3 in their last 11 following a straight up win. Also, Tulane's 8-3 in their last 11 games following a straight up loss, more than 20 points. Also, Tulane is 5-2 in their last 7 after allowing 200 yards. And then Tulane is 5-2 in their last 7 conference games. Also 7-3 in their last 10 games in the month of October. Also 14-6 in their last 20 games. Also, Tulane is 36-17 in their last 54 games, and also 1-4 in their last 5 after allowing more than 450 yards. And then Tulane's 1-4 with a team with a winning record. So that is your ATS trends. So we'll go over to the over and under. So we'll go to over and under trends. Okay, Tulane in the over is 4-0 in their last 4 games after allowing more than 450 yards in a previous game. Also, 6-1 in their last 7 in the month of October. Also, 5-1 in their last 6 games overall. Also, Tulane is also 5-1 in their last 6 games as an underdog. Tulane also is 4-1 in their last 5 games after a straight up loss, more than 20 points. Also, Tulane is 4-1 in their last 5 games as a home underdog, and also last 5 conference games they're 4-1, and then on Thursday night games they're 6-2. So that's the complete difference when it comes down to it. Now in the over head-to-head trends. Over 5-2 in their last 7 meetings in Tulane. Also, Cougars are 6-2 after the last 8 meetings versus Tulane as well. Cougars are 13-4 in their last 17 games. Favorite is 14-3 in their last 17 games. And also, home teams in the last 4 games are 4-0. So that's your breakdowns for the trends and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and give you their individual numbers, individual team numbers. So let's go ahead and give you those individual team numbers. We'll put those up on the screen, and we'll give them to you in a second. Okay, let's go ahead and go to the quarterbacks. Okay, Tulane. Houston uses Clayton Tune. He's a junior quarterback. He has 5 starts. He averages 194 yards passing. His quarterback rating is 143.0. And also Iggy Ogobo, if I'm saying his name right, he throws for 229. He also has 2 touchdowns. And his quarterback rating is also 142.7. 142.7. So between these two quarterbacks, I think this young man right here is the one that's starting in their games. It's on Clayton Tune. Now the running games, let's give you the running backs. Okay, their running backs is McCaskill. McCaskill's averaging 4.5 yards a game. You got Hendry is averaging 5.8. Then you got Mulbauer Carr. He has average 3.28. And then you got Chandler Smith's another running back. He's a senior running back that's averaging 3.6 yards a game. And then Clayton Tune, the quarterback's averaging 2.3 yards a game. That's on the running games for Houston. So I say their running game, they got some stacked running backs. So they'll have a freshman, they have a junior, they have 2 seniors, 1 junior. Yeah, a couple, 1 senior, 2 juniors. So they got some stable running backs for the Houston Cougars. Now, the wide receiver core, let's go ahead and give you the wide receiver core. Okay, the wide receiver core, they got Dell, Trahan, Jones, Singleton, and Herslow. He's a senior. And then you got Alton McCaskill is another guy that catches the ball. He's averaging 7.0 yards for a game, but everybody else is in the double digits when it comes to the wide receiver core for the Houston Cougars. So I say this, you got Tulane's defense has to stop the Houston wide receivers and running backs. So that's the wide receivers and running backs. And then let's see what we need. What else we need? Okay, we'll go over the defensive people. Okay, the defensive people getting sacks. They're averaging 16 as a team. Their main guys is Bankston, Jones, Parrish, Hall. So these are your they got their quarterbacks getting to the quarterback. So that I tell you what, this is going to be a big game for the Green Wave coming into this game because look, if you don't stop their defense, you won't be able to like I said, you won't be able to sustain drives. I'll tell you the truth. Because they got some good players that can make plays for the Houston Cougars. Now, the Green Wave, let's go over to the Green Wave. Let's pull this up, and I'll pull it up on my screen. You'll see it on the, I'll switch it over to my screen, and we'll give you the Tulane breakdown. So I'm going to go ahead and give you that. Okay, the passing game, let's go over to passing game. Okay, Michael Pratt, once again, he has 5 interceptions, but he is a young freshman, so hopefully he can get through his blues and stuff like that. Now you got Ivy Etter. Ivy Etter's been having injuries. That's kind of, hopefully they can get him back sooner rather than later. But Pratt, I'm going to tell you, Pratt, he's going to get better. I mean, get better with time. I mean, look, he's a freshman. I mean, you can't, like I said, you can't be, I mean, we depend on him, but he has to, his quarterback rating is still 135 and a half. Now, the running game for Tulane, we have a slew of backs. We have Ken Carroll, Michael Pratt, Bloom, Bloomfield, Booker, and then you got Celestine. So these guys will make some plays for the Green Wave, but they got to get you got to have a sustainable offensive line if they're going to be successful. Now, the wide receivers, you got Tydra James, Tolles, Deuce, and Fat Watts, and then you got Shane Wyatt. It's another wide receiver that's making plays for the Green Wave. He only has one touchdown, but his average is just 14.0. Then you got Carroll in the backfield that can catch the ball as well. So I look at it this way. The talent between the Houston Cougars and the Tulane Green Wave is, I'd say, it's a kind of a double-edged sword with the wide receivers and the running backs for both teams. So I think they're evenly matched when it comes down to this game tomorrow night. So let's go ahead and break down the point spreads. I'm going to go ahead and break down the point spreads for the game, and I'll put that up on the screen. Okay, tomorrow night, the points are starts at 4.5. Everything's at 6 right now. So Tulane's got a six. They're a 6.5 point underdog versus Houston. That's tomorrow. So I kind of look at this game, and I kind of say this: look, if Tulane can come out early and often, make some plays, don't give up the big chunk plays against Houston, get off the field on third down, play field position, because if you can play field position, they can easily get a win, like they did a couple of years ago when they had that comeback. That was back in 2017 when they had the comeback with 2018. There was a couple of maybe 2 years ago. So I was there. But if you go out and play like the same week after week, same result, you're not going to win the game. So that's my take on it. I think Tulane can cover the 6.5 points in the first half, and then we go from there. So once again, this is the Tulane preview versus Houston. Thanks for hopefully this information that we gave you today will be helpful, insightful when you go make your bets and stuff like that, or go to the game tomorrow night, which you expect from the Tulane offense and defense. So everybody have a good rest of your Wednesday. We'll be back later for the Saints preview. We'll have another preview show after the Coach Ogeron show tonight. So Saints preview after the Coach Ogeron show later on tonight.